Today on my channel, we are going to be talking HRT, life changes, things that are going on around here, fitness, a little bit of everything, just an update of what's been going on with my life, what's been going on with my health, and all of the changes I have made since I've turned 50. So back in, I want to say it was probably May, I think. I did a video, might have been in June, because I went on HRT in May, and I did a video, it might have been early June, talking all about HRT, the symptoms I had, the reasons that I went on it, what I had tried before that, and with that, a lot of you were super interested in what I had been trying, what had worked, and kind of the process of what I was going through. So I did say during that video that I would continue to do kind of life update videos every couple of months. I think I did another one towards the end of July, maybe early August, and kind of gave an update after a couple months of being on it. And now I have been on HRT, which is both the estrogen, the estradiol patch, and then progesterone as a pill form. And I have been on it, so we've got May to June, July, August, September, so about 4 months now. Now, there are positives and negatives. I personally have not had as many negatives as I have positives. I want to start before I go too far into this video also and say I am not a doctor. I am not claiming to be a doctor. I am just trying to tell you guys what I am currently doing, what works for me. If you have any questions, concerns, anything, please make sure to contact your own physician and discuss these things before you make any changes or add anything in on your own. It is definitely just what is working for me. A couple things that I want to touch base on why I decided to kind of go this route. And it was because of the fact that I had a lot of what would be considered perimenopausal symptoms. And those are symptoms you start to see before you hit menopause. So these are all beforehand. And they were things like the obvious of weight gain and bloating, but then I had brain fog. It was that whole I could go into a room for a reason and totally forget why I was there, what I was looking for. That is still a little bit there, but I think that's just honestly sometimes when we're so busy, we forget things. I also all of a sudden had a lot of anxiety, which I never had, and kind of mood swings that were just like a high 1 minute and a low the next. I had a lot of disrupted sleep, meaning I would wake up throughout the night and not be able to fall asleep. And I personally have always been someone who slept very well. I'm a light sleeper, so I hear things going on if there are things that require my attention. However, the other side of that is I can fall asleep like that. So I was having disrupted sleep, and not just through the night sweats and the hot flashes, I was having those as well. But that wasn't what was always waking me up. I just was having weird sleep patterns. I felt like my libido had gone down some. I also was having joint pain and muscle aches, just more than from working out. I wasn't sore from that. It was more just lots and lots and lots of just pains. And I still would say the only real pain I still have, my right knee has always kind of caught for me. And recently, since I started walking so much, my left heel has been what feels like bruised. And the research I've done all says that that takes a really, really long time to heal. So I have been wearing an insert in on my heels to help with the walking and kind of reduce that kind of direct pressure onto it. And then just general fatigue. Now, all of these are things that I tried to kind of naturally, let's say, balance out. However, I heard someone say this, and I thought this was a genius way to say it. You cannot naturally balance something out that chemically is imbalanced in your own system. So I also want to talk about the fact that one of the key things is finding a doctor that really is pro HRT. Not all of them are. There are a lot of doctors that still are of the old way of thinking that it's part of life, get through it, everybody goes through it. And yet then there are other doctors who have done the research and are definitely more of this new age type of thinking. And the research is there to back it, that HRT can actually be helpful at prolonging not just menopause, but also a lot of different issues we have as we get older. Now, with that, keep in mind, your symptoms can start many years before you actually go into perimenopause or menopause. So I am somebody who started seeing some of the symptoms quite a few years ago. It was before COVID. And so I knew that I needed to make some changes. I had blood work drawn. Another key thing about blood work is blood work can vary as to where you are in your cycle. So if they do blood work at the wrong time of month, you cannot show the correct levels that they need to see in order to possibly put you on something. The first thing to usually go lower is your progesterone, but a lot of times you need both progesterone and estrogen to balance each other out. Back to talking about the doctors is the key parts are finding a doctor, as I mentioned, that supports HRT, but also my doctor doesn't just rely on the blood work because, as I mentioned, it can vary depending on where you are in your cycle. So with that, you need a doctor who's also going to ask you how you feel, because I know my body more than anybody else. And even someone who is a doctor who has studied this, you definitely need someone who is willing to sit down, listen to what your symptoms are, and realize how those are affecting you. And then also kind of put you on possibly the estrogen, progesterone. Some people need testosterone. I don't personally. And then kind of play with those to find out what best suits you. Now, I am on the lowest dose of estrogen, which has been working fine. My doctor said, start with that, stay on it consistently for a year. And then if we feel like I'm seeing some of the symptoms come back, or if I feel like I'm just not getting the results I need, I can then go up a little bit. I am on 0.1. A lot of people start out at 0.25, then there's 0.5 and 0.75. I was okay with starting at 0.1. I already started feeling the differences. I have not been disrupted in my sleep. I've not been having night sweats. I feel like my joints are better. The fatigue, for the most part, is gone. I feel like I have more energy. A little bit of the bloat has gone down, but I also am aware that part of that is due to me. Some of the foods I eat are inflammatory. The oils, the sugars, the things like that are inflammatory and causing me to bloat. It did help me to get motivated to also do things, which then helps me to lose the weight. Now with that, some of the things that I changed since I do have a little bit more energy, I had mentioned this in my previous video, is I have been walking consistently since last September, so almost a year at this point. And with that, I started out, I was doing like 2 30-minute walks a day, and they were just short and just a stroll. And then I kind of went up to a 45-minute walk and a 30-minute walk. And now I'm at a point where I do a minimum of 1 3-mile, which is about an hour, give or take, walk a day with a weighted vest. Now I use a weighted vest. There are all different types. There are all different ones out there. You see so many people talking about them now. I had originally gotten one in that had clips on the front, which I liked how it went on, but it was a set weight. I want to say it was 6 or 8 pounds. And I've seen a lot of people wearing those that then are like adding wrist weights and things like that to give themselves some additional weight. So I returned that one and I went with one that is adjustable from 6 pounds to 12 pounds. And it has kind of little like sandbags in it. So I can add or take away as I feel the need. Now, if you are someone who doesn't get out and walk outside like I do, or you walk on a treadmill like I do in the winter, you also can wear the weighted vest just around your house. They suggest to do anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour a day with a weighted vest, and that will help your body to increase its muscle tone because it thinks it's carrying more weight. So it's actually working a little bit harder and strengthening those muscles. Now, then I also have worn an Aura ring, which is, it has a little tracker on the inside. It tracks everything from your sleep to your activity to, I mean, the amount of information on this thing is absolutely crazy. But the key things I use it for are my steps, my workouts, my sleep pattern, and my energy level, and then to track my cycle. And all of these things, like I had a day this previous weekend that we were up super late and had to get up early, and it adjusts how many steps you should get in during a day due to your actual energy and activity levels that you had from the day previous, including in it how much sleep you got. It is really, really great. It has really helped me realize how I sleep. It has also helped me realize how active I am. Generally, on a typical day, I try to shoot for 13 to 15,000 steps. Generally, daily, I'm anywhere from 15 to 20. Some days I do 20 to 25. It depends on what I have going on, but this has been game changing. I used to wear an Apple Watch, and MJ wears it now. And I used to get obsessive about those rings closing and the stand up and the activity and all of that. But this is so much more detailed than that is, and it's easier to wear. I charge this once a week. When I'm sitting down editing a video is when I put it on the charger at my desk. It lasts me a whole week. You can wear it on whatever finger you like. I got one that is sized, I can put it on this finger or this finger. I do tend to wear it on my middle finger. And then every once in a while, if I have jewelry on or I want to wear something on this ring, I might move it here. I might move it over to this finger. So I did go with one that kind of fit a couple different fingers. Now, I will say I originally found this on YouTube or Instagram, someone talking about it. And it's funny, through all of my kind of journey of learning about perimenopause, postmenopause, menopause itself, it's interesting because you only have a certain amount of time per year with your actual doctor. So where I have actually gotten a lot of information is through doctors who have now turned to social media in order to really get the information out there about this. I will list some of the doctors down below that I have followed both on Instagram and on YouTube, where I get a lot of really great information and a lot of good questions that I then can ask my doctor when I see her. Now, another thing that I recently did was I went and got a colonoscopy. Everything came back fine. But it is interesting because with that, you have to fast for, I ended up fasting for 36 hours by the time I went in for my appointment. No, 38. And then by the time I actually got to eat, it was 40 hours. But you're also drinking this, fluid in order to have the colonoscopy. But with that, I have also heard a lot of people saying once every 3 months, you should try to do a 24-hour fast, starting at have dinner at, let's say, 5 o'clock, right? Finish dinner at 6 o'clock, and then fast until the next night at dinner. Just have a later dinner. Let's say have dinner at 6 o'clock the next night. And they say to do that once every 3 months is really good for your system. So I think that might be something that I am going to kind of try to throw in there every 3 months now, see how it goes and see how that helps as well. Now, the last few things I want to touch base on about kind of what I have changed is the fact that I have put in a set of supplements that are from a brand called InnoSups, I think it is, and it's a female shred stack. And I started this, I want to say beginning of summer as well, and it has also helped me keep my energy up, kind of helps me, stay full longer. It helps me get my metabolism. It has collagen. I have the stack that has all of the different things in it, which I have found also have really kind of helped me with losing that little bit of weight that I'm trying to lose. I will say when I started this whole journey now 4 months ago, I was at 170 pounds, and throughout the summer, it's always a little bit more difficult because we are eating differently. We have people visiting, we're going to restaurants, things like that. We are very busy. So with that, I held at below 160. I was 159.2. Now I have recently come back to this home, 3 weeks ago now, 3 or 4 weeks. We're middle September, so 3 weeks. So I've also been in the middle of a kitchen renovation that should have been done by the time I got home. So I have not had a kitchen. This is the first week that I will actually have a full usable kitchen back. So it has been tough, but I have held strong at that 159. I've gone to 159.8, 159.2. I've bounced back and forth, but now I'm trying to really focus and continue on that journey. Now, another thing that I will say, I don't know if I can attribute this to the hormone replacement therapy with the estrogen and the progesterone, or if it is the supplements I've been taking. And I don't know if I can attribute it to the progesterone and the estrogen, or if I can attribute it to this kind of female stack that I added in, or I changed up a few things in my skincare. I changed up my serum and I changed up my moisturizer at night. So I don't know which one of these things is attributed to this, but I kid you not, my skin is in better shape than it has been in the longest while. I can't tell you how long it's been since my skin has looked this good. Even when I went for the colonoscopy, I put nothing on my face. I just washed my face and did my regular skincare and went in. And when I was coming out of the anesthesia, the nurse says to me, she goes, "Your skin is amazing." I don't know which part is attributing this, but let me know if you want to see a video on what I've changed up on my skincare. Also, I do at the end of September have a chemical peel coming up. If you guys would like to see like the process of that, the day by day, please let me know. I'll make a whole video about that as well. But those are the key changes that I have made and what is going on with my life as far as HRT, as far as working out, as far as supplements, and just kind of where the stage I am now that I'm getting closer to being 51 than closer to being 50. My birthday is in January, so I have a couple more months, but this is kind of where I've gone through my journey since I have turned 50, and I'm really feeling good about it. So I wanted to share this with you, let you know where I am. I will post any information and details that I talked about down below. But if you have any questions, please let me know. I will try and answer them. Keep in mind, as I mentioned, I am not a doctor. This is just what works for me and what has been working for me. And everyone is different, how things react with us, react with our body, and just do what works for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this and have a great weekend.